dreaded by most, loved by some, completed by maybe some percentage of lifters in the middle, is a good description for a legit leg day. But in terms of, let's just get out of the way what the plan is for it. I'm thinking alternating between hamstring and quad movements so that I can kind of sort of maximize my energy reserves in a way, and also just be more pumped at the end of it. Like, that's a non-negligible aspect of me wanting to do quads and hams sort of congruently, because at the end, when I during the pose down, the pump check, my hamstring will be fully pumped, my quads will be fully pumped. It's just fucking cooler, you know. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, a little bit of adductors at the end too, but that's usually just, you know, I sit down and play on my phone for a couple sets. This morning after cardio, I spliced in some abs and calves, because at the apartment gym, bike, little, like, it's a gym, it's got cables, it's got dumbbells to 50s, more than enough. So like, if that's all you've got access to, there's no reason not to kill it. I mean, that's definitely enough stuff to actually get a good workout in. But after the 35 minutes on the bike, I did like 6 sets of cable crunches, and then I think it was maybe it wasn't anything crazy. It was like maybe 5 or 6 alternating sets of just 10 reps of calf raises on the leg press machine. Like nothing wild, but just enough to get them pumped up. I'm gonna start adding that a little more with the cardio, just on a kind of more regular basis. I mean, everybody's skipping calves, but you still gotta hit them a touch. I mean, as long as you don't want, like, you want a little bit of a like a drumstick look below the knee. So if you're somebody who's a bit less fortunate in the calf insertion / calf genetic side of things, 1, praying for you, but 2, it's no excuse, man, right? Still try. There are videos of guys where they just can't get over the genetic factor for their calves. I don't know if it's like a fast twitch, slow twitch sort of thing. How about we hand that over to some of the more science-based guys to say, well, guys with smaller calves have more of this mTOR fiber, which doesn't, there's probably some reason. But the fact is, if you want your calves to grow, hit your calves. If you want your chest to grow, you hit chest. If you want bigger legs, you have to hit your legs. It's as simple as that for the most part. And then little details can become more complicated, but it's not worth getting into too much. So that was more like at 8 o'clock. It's now 5:10. Even though it feels like 9, I don't know what's wrong with me this year, but it's like it's taken a minute to adjust to the fact that it's getting this dark this early, which I guess is a good thing. It's making me sleep at a bit more of a regular schedule. But yeah, gonna go to one of the little more grungy kind of hardcore gyms. I've been going to the same ones that are kind of close to the house the last few weeks, and it's shorter drive, but that is one benefit to the multiple gym memberships, is it's not just different places and different hours, which, depending on where you live, that can be a pretty serious thing. I mean, I've got a couple of gyms where they, especially like peak clock and back hours, there was a time when they were only open like 10 to 3. Now, of course, that was like mid-COVID, it shut down everything, but still, it's taken a while to claw our way back to a regular, like, close at 10 kind of situation. But apart from the fact that it's just different hours and different stuff, it's just different environments, like a real grungy, pretty hardcore gym, all metal plates, metal dumbbells, a little rattly. Like, it's just got a different environment than like a Planet Fitness. And that's not to be like forgotten about, because if you want to be in a space where it feels hardcore, odds are it's going to be a bit easier for you to go hard. If you're really trying to like get yourself in the zone because it's fucking taking you a little bit to get amped up, because like, I don't know, maybe something about the blue lights, it's just not as fun, right? So if you've got I say this a lot whenever I go to like a cool gym and I talk to any guys who are actually like regulars there, I'm always saying like, yeah, you guys are fucking lucky. This is a freaking awesome gym to be lifting in. But then it's like, do you really need all the fancy shit anyway? It's, you can look at it from so many different fucking angles. Either way, let's just get ready to go slash, or not slash, but thrash quads, wreck hamstrings, and then hopefully not even have to take my pants off for the pump check, because they will have exploded because they got so fucking swollen and pumped up. You know, do I think that's really going to happen? No, but is it out of the realm of possibility? Not so sure. How about we just get in there and find out? Let's start simply enough moderate weight laying curls. Not the craziest thing in the world, but it's hard to start with anything else. If I were to start with like a RDL or something, it's almost a little too like stretch focused, you know. It's like I want to be pretty exhausted, because then when I do an RDL, you know, not to say do, but 2 plates only on the Smith, I'll be able to feel my fucking hamstrings really firing, because they've already been burnt out a little bit, you know. It's almost like, well, it's not a good analogy, but it's like if somebody punched in the arm, it wouldn't take much force to get you to feel those pain signals again, because it's already kind of tender. Now, of course, this damage is in a good way, but I think you get the gist of what I'm getting at. So let's just go nuts in a controlled fashion. Ugh. Okay. A little too heavy, but let's do one more just like that, and then move on to some leg extensions. Gonna do another sort of back and forth style lift today. Okay. Let's go grab a leg extension. Rest periods are getting a little shorter. I mean, these sets just aren't so damaging. Like, it's still failure, but I'm hitting failure earlier. Less carbs, less kind of just step-by-step endurance, I guess. But the pump goes on. Let's grab something. Let's belt in, and then 10 reps on the left side, 10 on the right, back and forth until just quad obliteration. And this weight is within reason. Like, this is nothing crazy. 160, a little more than double the stack, or a little more than half the stack, but this is kind of a light stack. So this is serving 2 purposes. For one, it's a good working set, but it's also warming up my knees, my quads in general. So if I move on to some kind of pressing next, like a squat or leg press, I'll just feel more ready for it, you know? Like, you're not going to want to bust out into a full-on sprint without warming up. And that's kind of what these are serving the purpose of, at least in the scheme of quads. Oh, man. Okay. A little heavy for this next one, but that was good. Knees are feeling really good. Yeah, one more. Oh, goodness. Oh. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh. This will be good. Slower, stretch focus style. Oh yeah. Oh, holy shit. One more. Much slower accrual of damage on a rep by rep basis on that one, but it's so fucking adds up. Damn. Oh yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Let's get some quads going again. Movements, TBD. I gotta think about it for a second. Decide what the best move is. Might even be leg extensions again. We'll see. A little bit of, at least, wisdom that applies directly to me. I'm kind of, I'm feeling very strong. Like usually, this leg press full stack is pretty fucking heavy. To the point where, I mean, after like, you know, a few sets of leg extensions more, it's hard to even get the first rep moving, let alone a good set. So you might think, okay, well, my quads feel extra strong. My knees feel really good. They have been a little bit tender the last few days, but now I got the green light. I should squat. I should try to squat 6 plates on Smith machine. Not inclined that's the exact answer. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm still going to, I mean, this is the stack, of course, but this is going to be a bit more lengthy torturous set. I'm going to try to do as many reps as I can, no rest, no nothing, which is, I mean, I guess that sounds like it goes without saying, but for something like a leg press or even bench, it's very easy to do some, get a little tired, and then rest at the top for a few extra breaths. So I'm going to try to get as many rapid reps in a row, and then obviously burn out with a few big huffs and puffs in between to get, you know, whatever benefits a little bit of mid-set reoxygenation can do for me. So now all I got to do is pick a good song, get amped up, and go nuts. And I think I'll go one notch deeper. Let me think about it. Yeah, that'll be good right there. Actually, no. That's good. There we go. All right, come on. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, gosh. Holy shit. Oh. Oh. Holy crap. Oh. That is like the weirdest shit. Because the first 2 reps feel like nothing. But then 6 hits me like a fucking, well, like a full stack leg press. Let's do some RDLs next. Smith machine. If it's open. Not my favorite, but dumbbells will still work. 75s, same as normal. Hinge at the hips and feel my hamstrings do the main pulling. Much easier said than done, so start light and just try to get a feel for it. That's my only tip to anybody. All right. Oh, yeah, okay. Holy shit. Oh. One more. All right, come on. Oh my god, okay. Holy. Oh. I can feel I'm starting to use a little too much glutes. Those were good though. Let's move on to some leg extensions again. I'm fucking dying right now. Not like in a good way, but I'm feeling the deficit. Back to the other side. I have reason to believe that this might actually be it. Left, right, alternating. This time every 5 reps. And honestly, my quads are fucking cooked. I wonder... I think I might actually have to like leverage my carbs during the week to bias a carb heavy quad day, because like arms doesn't suffer so much when I'm depleted. Right? I still have a good chest and back day flat AF, right? But legs, I'm hitting a thick point of difficulty, diet related, to the point where I might need to give myself a little more food on leg days and a little less on the rest of them to kind of counteract the average calorie intake, just so I can really keep thrashing legs. Or alternate solution, just drop the leg volume. Doesn't feel like a cooler option, but that might just be the case. Well, either way, I think this will be it. Pose down, and then for you we'll go to the car, but for me I'm just gonna go camp out on the adductor for a while.
Like you are like that's different from what you say. Now it's not offensive. I'm not offensive when I say it, literally, I tell you about it. I love them all. Like on a good way. Or so like negative
Yeah.
It could be this way, but Mexican's not that, you know. So it's just defensive. So then you get a lot of Tony. Well, that's how I see it. I was on the future where so here too. That's it.
Let's go find some more space. Appreciate it. All right, let's get a minor zoom in here. But legs, I would say legs have been stimulated. I think thrash is not exactly the right word, but that's kind of not what I'm aiming for right now. It sucks because like it's not cool. It's not cool for me to say I kind of took it easy, but the amount of energy to recover that I have right now in the calorie deficit, it's just not fucking infinite, you know? Like bulking up, if you're eating in a real calorie surplus, like you're eating an extra 500-700 calories on a day-to-day above your maintenance, then I would go so far as to say overtraining, at least in like a regular working out kind of context, is damn near impossible. Because you've just got so much fucking food in your system. Like, if you really were overtraining, you would know it. Dieting down, that's where it's actually a bit more legit. Because it's like, dude, I've simply only got 23-ish hundred calories a day to recover from all this damage I'm trying to do. And if I overdo it, I'm going to get gradually more tender and sore. I'm going to pull little, like, random pieces of shit, and my knees are going to, like, it just fucking adds up, you know? So I got to be a bit smarter in the dieting down context, which unfortunately for me means, you know, no nose bleeding sets of Smith squats,
but that's okay. That'll be for the bulk in a few months from now. But let's roll up these pant legs and see just how we're looking. I need shorter shorts because when I roll these up, I get a little bit of a diaper look. But what are you gonna do? So that's certainly a set of freaking quads. Oh goodness. You got a hint of quad feathering. I'm not sure it really comes across on the camera. It should. And then let's see how the side's looking. Oh goodness. So gradually getting veinier. Calf veins are becoming more apparent. They're let me do a little breath hold, see if I can bust them out a little bit extra. Yo. Oh my gosh. Well, in either case, quads reasonably pumped, hamstrings definitely fucking fatigued, and now all I get to do is run over to the adductor, sit down, play on my phone, and squish my legs together for a couple sets, pack this shit up, get in the car, and go eat something. Fucking starving.
Okay. I think I officially need a refeed day. Now, that does not mean I'm now going to eat 10 gazillion calories, 10,000 calorie refeed challenge. Not exactly. Not freaking exactly. But, you know, a refeed is not just an excuse to cheat on your diet. It actually does have some legit utility. Right? That is, if it's actually used in its intended fashion, you know, because there's a diminishing return effect that happens as you diet. And dieting down, especially, and I will explain. You know, and this is a little bro sciencey, but the basic sentiment is there. Like it's a pretty good description, I feel. You know, as you get lighter, you physically get, you know, you're holding on to less mass. You have to keep less mass on your frame alive, which is your main energy, not source, but your main consumer of energy is just staying fucking alive. You know, doing your cardio, whatever. You burn your calories, you do whatever. But as much energy as you output physically, I mean, you're burning like 10 times that just in like heat production and, you know, keeping all of your muscle oxygenated. So obviously a whale is going to need to eat more food than me. It's bigger. So as you get lighter, as you get leaner, as you get smaller, you actually have to eat less food because your body now needs less food to stay that weight. So it kind of, you're sort of like a self-regulating system. You know, if a famine were to hit and you were suddenly now only able to access 2,000 calories per day, if you only ate 2,000 calories per day, and let's say you started at 3, then you would get lighter, you'd get to a lighter body weight until 2,000 was your new baseline. 3,000 used to be your baseline up here when you were this heavy, but now that you're lighter, less food will let you stay the same size. So when you diet down, you have to fight against that because your metabolism wants to slow down. Right? Food is now becoming more scarce. So as a system, you're like, dude, fuck, better not start really running through this shit like whatever. Like I gotta conserve this energy, you know. So your metabolism starts to slow down a bit, and that sucks. Because what that means is, if you want to continue losing body fat, then if your baseline metabolism, if your maintenance calorie number is now decreasing, then if you want to keep getting leaner, you have to continue to eat less and less and less and less and less. So one step which helps mitigate that effect is by doing your cardio, right? Maintain some extra activity and calorie burning so that you're always, you know, kind of keeping your metabolism a little bit higher from being more active. Right? If somebody were to do 2 hours of activity per day versus someone who doesn't, even if they're the same weight, that guy who did 2 hours of any kind of activity, I'm not even saying working out, but anything like being active, he will burn more calories in the day than the guy who didn't. So dieting wise, that's sort of the gist. That's the situation. The longer you diet, you have to continue to eat less and less fucking food. But if you do that, before you know it, fuck, man, I'm at 1,800 calories today if I want to keep losing this pound or whatever, And I do not want to be eating 1,800 calories per day, at least not yet. I'll do what I have to do later on in this, what is going to end up being a prep, right? Once I'm really getting extra lean. But right now, I don't have to go that drastic. So the logic of a refeed is, okay, my metabolism is slowing down. I'm getting used to this deficit. It's not giving me the same like fat burning effect that it used to, because now you're getting used to it. So the refeed, you take a day, you eat an extra, I don't know what the standard amount is. Usually I just kind of end up going like 1,000 calories over, maybe an extra like 300, 250 grams of carbs of whatever variety. Usually a treat. I use the refeed kind of as like a cheat in a way. But the idea there is, okay, now you're suddenly adding extra fuel to your system. Your body's like, okay, dude, now I got a lot of food to eat. All right. Kind of ramps your metabolism up a little bit more, because now you're used to running on that much. So you almost give your metabolism an extra kickstart. And as you keep getting leaner, or as you get back on track to eating in your calorie deficit, then it'll be it'll have a little bit more of a punch, and that's not the best explanation, but that's about it, So it's been about 2 months of consistent calorie restriction. It's probably about a good time, especially today. I could kind of feel a little bit of extra lower energy on that quad day, and not like overall energy, but really like set by set kind of endurance, because I want to be I still want to kill it even if I'm dieting down. So that's and then if you're thinking, well, Sam, what you really need to change is start adding some goddamn rest days. Why are you training every day? You might be onto something. That is also something I'm thinking about too, because like I was saying during the pose down, like if you're eating a ton of food, if you're actually eating more than enough fuel to run your system and keep training on the regular, then overtraining gets tricky. Not the easiest thing to do. But you start restricting your calories, you start getting extra lean, you're really cutting down, then the rest day might be necessary. So we'll just have to see. I'm not anti-rest day, but I just don't want to take them if I don't need to. Because it's like, I'm just a freaking, lifting nut. You can't take the gym rat out of the gym. It just doesn't work like that. But you're not wrong. So that's something that I might kind of consider. But with the might be a little hiatus. I guess on those days I'll just because I'll still do cardio, of course. I might just ease back on the lift. So on days like that, maybe I don't know what, I'll just show you some meals or something. But good lift. Very good freaking lift, even though it was a little bit lighter on the gas pedal than I would probably prefer. It's just the nature of dieting down right now. I'll get back to full throttle once we start bulking up again. So that's the give and take. You're bulking up, big, strong, crazy pumped, not so lean. You're dieting down, you look a little crazier, but you don't feel so crazy. So it's always just like a back and forth, right? You can't have it exactly perfect. There's always a give and take with those sort of things. But that's why I like either bulking up or cutting down, at least for now, because I'm still trying to like make gains and continue to beef up. Eventually I'll reach a point where I'm like, okay, this is enough. I'll stay here for a while and then back off to a bit more regular. I'll probably do the classic bodybuilder transition into like more athletic based training, because I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm sure eventually I'm going to have my fill of chasing size, and then I'll want to get more limber again, but that'll be a little while. Right, for now we're really into this part of it. But for now, I'm either bulking up or cutting down. Right, no matter what time of year it is, there's always a specific directive which I'm aiming for, which I really think is important for, anybody in a lifting context. Because if you're trying to make progress, but you're not like working towards something specific, then it's such an arbitrary goal, man. It's like you kind of have to pinpoint yourself down to some specific metrics that you want to work on. And that makes it so much easier to adjust and try to improve on them, because you actually know specifically what you're aiming for, right? I mean, telling somebody, or somebody saying, okay, I want to get better at golf. I always add the golf references just because Mark does it. But I want to get better at golf, man. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? You want a better drive? You want to stop slicing it? You want to get your short game back in line? Like, well, there's a million ways to look at that. Whereas somebody who says to himself, okay, for the next couple of weeks, I really want to work on my internal rotation and form and keeping my left arm totally straight and keep not tracking the ball, or just like little things like that, you know. It makes it so much easier, because instead of a big a big overarching like just idea of something you want to do, if you pinpoint it down and you magnify down to, okay, I want to gain weight, I want to gain muscle, I want to bulk, then that's not arbitrary. That's okay. I want to eat in a surplus, I want to train hard, I want to recover, and I want my trend line on the scale to be positive. That's it. That's not it, but that's the gist of it. Same thing dieting down. All right, man, I want to get leaner. Calorie restriction, cardio, training, recovery. It's 4 parts. You know. Now, it's not as easy as that. There's a lot more that goes into it. But if you're looking at it, or you're looking at your routine, and you say, okay, what do I need to improve on? It's really just those 4 things, man. You know, are you slacking off? Are you taking a couple extra rest days, or taking like weeks off of the gym consistently? Then, dude, your training's off. What the fuck? Are you staying up crazy late and waking up at a regular time, like you got to do like school or whatever, and then you stayed up until 2 o'clock playing Fortnite or something? Your sleep is shit. Fuck, man, you got to work on that. Are you actually eating in a calorie deficit? Are you trying to track your stuff? Fuck, man, you got to start tracking that shit, you know? Not to, you know, I'm trying to cut back on the swearing. It's, I don't know. I swear I don't talk like this in real life, like person to person. Dude, how much did you have to drink today? You had a Monster and a Coke at lunch? Your hydration is off, man. You know, it's like those 4 main things. If you could jump those a little bit closer to ideal, and I'm not even saying perfect, but just a bit closer than lifting wise, progress wise, you're gonna see some pretty noticeable fucking changes. And the best part is, it's insanely direct. Like, if you get a good night's rest on average for the next week, you're going to feel it right then. If you stay and actually get yourself really hydrated, you're going to feel better. If you're actually eating as much food as you're aiming for, be it bulk, cut, maintain, you should see those results basically instantly on the scale. Now, I say instantly as in like, you know, over the course of a few days or like a week, but in the scheme of working out, a week is quick. And if you actually start training extra hard, you know, locked in a sense, you'll notice. It takes a little while. It takes a little while, but you will notice. And the best part is, it's hard in the beginning, but it gets easier. You know, any top level dude at anything, sure, like they're putting in insane effort. They're really grinding all the time. They're looking at all these little details about what they're doing, trying to improve it. But since they've worked their way up to that speed, it's no longer like a challenge. That's just their baseline day. Like, that's what they're used to. Like, to reach a state of locked in, it's I feel like it's so like pandered on all the TikTok hype edits and stuff, where like it's just crazy maximum effort, like everything. But the reality is, I think really being locked in, it's not to the point where you feel like you're full throttle redlining your effort like every day, because locked in is just what you're used to. Like, going to the gym every day is normal life. Doing your cardio on the regular just feels like another step. Tracking your calories, it's just what you do, you know? Like, you wouldn't look at a tuna or a freaking or like a marlin swimming like 60 miles a freaking hour in the water. Like, that's just what they're made for, you know? So you can get to that state just by exposure, right? Sure, tracking your calories sucks at the beginning. As much as I love talking about it, I'm not trying to say it's easy. You know, you feel like you've got OCD. You know, you're weighing everything, you're counting every gram of everything. Like, yeah, I mean, it sucks. You know, I'm not oblivious to that. But the longer you do it, eventually it'll just feel normal, and you won't even think about it, right? I mean, that first day that you came in and worked out, especially, you know, maybe the day or two after, you really felt it, like it hit you. But 2 weeks later, that soreness is gone, right? You're getting more used to it. You're adapting to the training environment that you're putting yourself into. And if you continue to give yourself enough stimulus to adapt, then before you know it, like 90% effort will just feel like regular effort, you know? So just something to think about, right? I mean, the guys who, and it's so counterintuitive, you know, because I'm sure anybody who you've ever seen at your gym where they're like a top dog, bigger dude, and maybe not even bigger, but just like they're training consistently for a long time, they know what they're doing. For them, it's not a challenge to say, okay, I'm going to the gym today. Okay, I'm going to get my pre-workout, I'm going to get my shoes together, I'm going to put my gym bag in the car, let's get after this. Like, that internal battle, that doesn't exist for them. That's just how they do it. But as a beginner, if getting through that internal battle of like, okay, fuck, I gotta go to the gym, then that's just the difficulty level that you have to reach. And if you can break through that, and 2 weeks later, that little debate in your mind will begin to fade. And now, instead of thinking, okay, am I going to go to the gym today? It's like, okay, how hard am I going to go today? Okay. And then eventually you get to a point where you have to tell yourself, okay, I better back off on legs today because, you know, I'm dieting down and I don't want to stress out my knees from trying to go too heavy on leg press in a calorie deficit, you know? So it's a momentum which takes a while to build up. But once that speed has been acquired, an object in motion is going to stay in freaking motion, you know? So the tricky part really is just building up that speed in the beginning. But that's my shtick there. And if you're working out on the regular, you already know this. I don't have to say that to you. You know what you're doing. But plan for tomorrow, some chest, maybe a little bit of side delts just for kicks. But we'll have to see. I've been saying that, and I don't really do it. So maybe I'll have to add it tomorrow. Well, I'll see how chest feels. If I feel crazy pumped after the chest portion, then I'll just call it there. But either way, I'll see you tomorrow.